You're listening to Hot Sauce Sports with Moe Khan, Peeze, Della, Reeze, and Terry Tam.
I now know that I'm on with a spy, depending on who's the captain of this ship. That's probably a bad thing if this podcast is supposed to go viral, isn't it?
Cordero Patterson like grabbing some shanks, gentlemen here, and he quote, and I quote, "I'm a grown man. I don't need nobody blank and blank in my balls, my face."
In my teenage years, I'd get back from high school, I'd smash 2 pizza pockets. Carmelo Anthony never learned you can't live life just smashing pizza pockets.
Because he lost a double bet, what I did is I cut a jalapeno in half, and I filled it with hot sauce. So he's going to have to slurp this down.
Why you give me a fucking banana, dude? I'm not eating a banana. I'll rather piss in my mouth than eat this.
Okay, so there we go. Stop stalling. Let's go. Let's go.
Now, here are your hosts, Moe, Terry, and Peeze.
All right, I survived the hot sauce competition last week. I think that's why I was so off since last Wednesday.
You have another one pay off. You know, another hot debt from a hot bet that you lost.
What's the bet that I lost this week?
We went head to head for fake colleges, and you lost.
Well, what do I have to pay off though? What's the
another jalapeno hot sauce?
Can we do it next week? I'm not feeling well. I'm not feeling well, too. Trust me, man.
We're missing a receptacle. So you get to either do it on Instagram Live or when we return, because, Mo, after this week, we're going to be taking a break.
Thank God, man. My stomach can handle any more of that stuff. Welcome
just be less shitty at picking stuff. That's it.
Well, okay. Be more or less obvious with these fake schools. Like,
more or less
Cupcake
well, you can
A&M.
figure it out. Yeah.
More or less obvious.
Cupcake A&M. Where is that located?
I had Marlboro College,
Candyland?
which is real, 195 students, and the mascot is what?
The Fighting Beaver.
No, the Fighting Dead Tree.
Oh, the Fighting
Dead
Dead
Tree.
Tree. That's
Fighting
amazing.
Dead Tree.
It's
Dead
both
Tree.
fighting and dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just like Duke.
Yeah. It's,
All right. So welcome to episode 7. Boy, we're only
6?
No, 7 now. We're at 7.
6?
6?
We're at 6.
All right, episode 6. All right.
Yo,
Unless
that
Mo,
hot sauce messed him up,
I guess
though.
Mo did one while we weren't paying attention.
Listen, man, it's a Nathan Peterman world. We're all just living in it.
Exactly.
We're all just living in it.
Exactly.
We're the
Only
drunk
1,000
How you
more.
doing as a Raiders fan, Mo Khan?
I'm
And Duke.
Future franchise quarterback Nathan Peterman.
Well, as I said, I am not a fan until Caveman Gruden's gone.
He'll be
It's
there
going to
for
be
a long
10
time.
long,
Yeah.
guaranteed years.
9 years and 2 more games left.
That's a hell of a long time.
Yes, Duke.
I'm not quite sure I understand the move. I mean, they have A.J. McCarron. They traded for him. They didn't really need a backup.
Oh,
Is
they're
it-
collecting
was it
quarterbacks,
a pride
man.
move? Is it because he needs to prove to the world?
I think
that
he's putting
not
pressure on.
terrible?
I think he's just trying to put
If we
pressure
can
on Carr.
find on YouTube the John Gruden quarterback camp, I guarantee we find the answer.
In that quarterback
Duke, you're
camp,
on
he
it.
said that Nathan Peterman was going to be the star from that draft class. And if I'm not mistaken, Mo
Yeah.
can correct me, he said that Deshaun Watson would be better served playing receiver.
Okay, but he wasn't right. He wasn't the only one that said that about Nate Peterman. Though.
Yeah, I don't know what they saw. I look honestly like
A lot of college quarterbacks don't pan out.
I'm not saying I'm smarter than NFL coaches, but the proof's in the pudding. So I might be smarter than NFL coaches because I haven't seen a thing he's done where he hasn't looked terrible. Maybe he's great at sex.
Who's a better
There's no way
quarterback?
to know. It looks like his penis would be intercepted.
So who's a better quarterback evaluator? Frank Caliendo as John Gruden or John Gruden as John Gruden?
Oh, that's a really good question, Mo. I'll tell you what, man.
What about Terry Tam as Frank Caliendo as John Gruden?
I'll tell you what. That Nathan Peterman's got something good for you. I'll tell you what.
The thing is, Peterman has this interesting concept where if you give the ball to the other team, it's kind of a completed pass.
You think he's paid off?
It's true. It's a
You
good
think
point.
he's been paid off by bookies to like throw away games?
You know
Right.
what? Because his career was going to be so short anyway, he probably would have made more money throwing games getting paid by the bookie.
You know what I think the problem is? He has extremely hairy arms. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah,
I
it's a
think
problem.
that's the problem.
I guess
It's
the
not
4K
aerodynamic.
really
Yeah.
personifies the hairiness.
Exactly.
Follicles on
When he
his
throws the ball, it
forearms.
doesn't have as much.
He has a follicular delivery.
That's actually a blonde person problem. We all have extremely hairy arms. We really do.
You're making it up.
It's
Google
so true.
that.
You want to see my
Yeah,
arms?
I wanna see
You're
your
not
arms.
blonde,
I
though.
want
I'll
you-
put it on camera.
You're not blind. You're albino and you have white hair.
But there you go. We all
But here's the
have
thing,
hairy
though, Duke. No one knows how you look.
Yeah. So we can say you look
So-
like anything.
Yeah.
I need you to actually research whether or not that's true. I'm very curious.
You got it.
If all blonde people are
Are hairy,
it's
yeah.
not true.
There's no way that can
I know
be true.
so many blonde people that have like zero hair on their hands.
All right.
Look at Mo.
John Gruden. John Gruden's a blonde, no? John Gruden.
No, I think he's more like a redhead. You know.
No, he's a blonde, is he not?
I
Can we
guess
get the physical traits of John Gruden?
Eagle,
please?
I think
can
he's
you
blonde.
Google if he's genetically a ginger or a blonde hair.
A weaker human.
Yeah.
It's ginger.
Two
Because
things
ginger
for
makes sense. Right?
two things for our crack staff. Can we please get the Nathan Peterman, John Gruden quarterback camp clip if we can,
love that.
please? And whether or not
Sure,
John
here you
Gruden is
go.
blonde or a redhead. All right,
I think
so
he's blonde with redhead facial features like the freckles and stuff.
elements.
Oh, like
Elements,
so
yeah.
inbred.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So it is the year-end show because we've done so many of these episodes already, 6 to be exact.
It's a short year.
Light brown. Thank you very much, Eagle. So it's light brown. Gray eyes.
Great.
Oh, that's
Now you're
very
just making stuff up.
exotic look.
That's why he's like the Night Walker.
That's
Tell
good
you
to
what,
say.
man.
He's the Night King.
These gray eyes, man, we see quarterbacks like those
gray
Did you see the odds for? Did you see the odds of who's going to rule Westeros, Terry?
Yeah, I did.
So
So I'm
close to
going for
50 on
Gen.
Death King. That's not bad.
I'd rather put
On the Night King.
I put on Gendry 1,800.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's good
That's
because
good
he's a Baratheon. I just found I forgot why he was still relevant, and it's because he's a
Hold on.
Baratheon.
Can
You
we?
guys talking about what now?
Game of Thrones, man. You got to get on.
Oh,
it.
Nerd
Can we as a
Nation.
show?
Nerd Nation. This is Nerd Talk now.
Yeah,
This
Nerd
is-
Talk.
This,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
the Nerd Talk Sports
Relax
Talk
their
podcast.
Canadian college football.
Okay. This guy
So,
crying about Justin
can we-
Fields. Leaving.
Where can we as a show put a bet on this?
Okay, what do you want to do?
And week to week,
God.
we'll give like
I
a.
have
I'm
it,
gonna drink
I
my
have it.
water.
I have
in
it
the
here, I
meantime.
have
Will
it
you
here.
guys,
Give a 2-minute
You guys do what you gotta do.
We'll
for
give a
this Nerd
2-minute
Talk.
breakdown each week.
I have
And
it here.
we'll give Mo the breakdown to do without having watched the show.
Yeah, it's
We'll
good. Okay,
Every
so
week
Mo.
we're gonna give Mo breakdowns for things he hasn't seen.
Okay, so Mo.
Hold on. Are you
I'm
guys
gonna give
finished
you a
talking
list
Nerd
of-
Talk? I'm finishing my water first.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna
it's
give
very
you.
important.
I'm gonna give you a list of names, and you're gonna pick one person that you think would be the king of Westeros.
And Terry and I will put actual money on this.
Yeah, at the end of season 9. Okay.
I love
So-
how degenerate this is.
Jon Snow at +175, Bran Stark at +250, Daenerys Targaryen at +250. She's the mother of dragons. She's the breaker of chains. Arya
hot.
Stark at
Dragon
+900.
titties.
Yeah, well, she has like a lot of faces. Arya Stark. She does, and she has Needle too. She has Needle.
Hold on. Let me ask the nerd over here, Eagle.
Night King at +900.
In high school, what was that card game that people used to play that was
Okay,
very
fucking
popular?
Pogs, whatever you want to
Not
call
Pogs. It was that card game.
Pokemon,
Not
Dragon
Poke-
Ball Z.
No. Magic, yes.
That's
guys-
you. That's you.
That's so you guys.
no, no, no,
0%.
no, no.
100%
not the same
you
thing.
guys
The
are
Night King
Magic.
at +900. Mo, you have to pick one. Tyrion Lannister. He's the
Do I look like
little
I
person.
watch Nerd
Guy,
Nation
That's
We
the
need
whole
to-
point of this fucking
Yeah.
bet.
Oh, God.
Canadian
Tyrion-
college football. We need your pick. Let's go.
Tyrion Lannister at 1,000.
All right, give me Lannister for one.
No, 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 I'm done.
No, I'm done. I picked Lannister.
Sansa Stark. She's the redhead
I
at
pick
1,300.
Lannister.
She has no soul, so I don't know about her. Cersei Lannister, 1,600. She bangs her brother. I don't know about that. Gendry Baratheon at +1,800. Now that's the silent sleeper for me because he actually
deep
has
sleeper, though.
because he actually had that full right to the throne. He was the heir, but they didn't know that
Yeah,
he is.
I'd rather talk about
a Baratheon.
I'd rather talk about
Now,
the wild power
somebody
play
that
than
you
this.
can relate to. Okay, so this person
Okay.
has no athletic ability.
Yeah.
Okay.
and he's not very. He's kind of nerdy.
He's the Mo Khan of the kingdom.
So I'm
He's
gonna
the
drink
Mo
my
Khan of
water
the
now.
kingdom.
Drink
Samuel
my water.
Tarly at +2,000. I think that's your bet.
My water's finishing right now.
Okay, cool.
Samuel Tarly
Okay.
is Mo Khan's athletic ability in my body.
Oh boy, I forgot to put on the clock.
So who
here.
we betting on?
We're
Uh,
starting the podcast now anyway. Whatever we just said before is going to get cut
I'll
out.
take the Tatharian person over there.
Targaryen? Okay,
Yeah,
Dany
Targaryen.
Okay.
All right.
The breaker of chains. There you go. Very good.
$50 each.
It's a good bet.
$50 each.
But what?
I'm saying, are we betting? Where can we place this bet? We'll put $50 each.
Oh,
We'll
okay,
follow
okay,
it
yeah.
week after week.
I
Nerd
don't think there's going
Nation.
to be an actual bet, though.
Really?
Yeah, we started already.
Yeah,
This
we
is
did.
the show. What do you
This is
mean?
the show talking
We're
about
talking gambling.
game of jokes over here.
Hot sauce nerds.
Game of jokes. That's what we're talking about here. All right, so it is it is a year-end show, so we'll give out the Peezes and the Terrys as well, I guess. You know, since we're talking about Game of Thrones over here, so
Fucking right. I'm going to watch another episode tonight.
yeah, go for it. Be my
Catching
guest.
up with my wife.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
Go
hasn't
for
seen it.
she's probably a bigger fan than you are.
No, she's not.
I think she is. We can call her on the phone. And
we'll
ask
call
her.
her, we'll call her.
Know your Game of Thrones, and I guarantee she beats you like 6-1.
No.
Like a piece. You're getting irritated right now. No, I'm the man.
No, I know
I'm the
more.
man. I
know
know more.
I drink Starbucks.
It says Terrell on that, not Terry.
It's Tyrell.
All right.
That's his birth name is Tyrell. Thanks, Eagle.
All right, so we continue on with this Game of Thrones talk. Headline sports news over here. All right, so the week that was, so let's dive into it, guys. The big news, of course, was the eyes of LeBron James has caught Anthony Davis in his heart, as LeBron has come out publicly and said, "Hey, I would love to have Anthony Davis ball with me in La La Land," and it could happen in the next 8 months if Anthony Davis does not sign the extension with the Pelicans. So, gentlemen, I ask you this question.
He does not sign the extension with the
When,
Pelicans.
Well, in July.
Okay, so
But I'm saying he won't.
Yeah.
Like it's not.
But I know, but I'm trying to give the objective
I guess.
view, right? I'm not going to jump the gun here. So, gentlemen, I ask you the question now is, do the Lakers end up with Anthony Davis, or will the Boston Celtics, who have been rumored for Anthony Davis for the last year or so, be getting his attention in the next 8 months?
I think Anthony Davis wouldn't go to LA. But I like how I love LeBron, and I've always have, but the cockiness of him is like, oh yeah, I'd love to have Anthony Davis on my team. Who the fuck wouldn't?
Well, yeah, but
He's the best big guy in the league.
Here's the thing, though. In the NBA, they recruit out loud in public,
Yeah,
in
exactly.
the press. Like that's common practice. That's
Yeah.
something that's something.
It's
The
just like we
LeBron
do in
era
our-
has created, right?
Yeah, just like we do in our flag football league.
Yeah, exactly. But we don't get paid millions of dollars to do
No,
so.
we actually pay a lot of shit, a shitload of money for that.
Too much money. But so the thing is, like, I will say, if Anthony Davis goes to LA, he's got to be looking more fresh. You can't have the unibrow in LA. It's a problem. Someone's got to have told him by this point. You can't have yes men this far into your career, people telling you look all right when you got one piece of fur. it's no
Okay,
go.
so he, based on where he's gonna play, is contingent on if he shaves his unibrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you got to get
He
Hollywood ready.
copyright that, though, I believe. I think
You know,
has
he
this-
kept, yeah, he's like
Yeah.
not copyright. He's like insured it.
Yeah.
Insured it?
Yeah, insured it.
Oh, insured. I thought he put it on his shirt.
Just like J Lo insured her ass, he insured that
Makes sense.
because it's his look. You know.
The thing is, I think that if the Boston thing would have happened, Danny Ainge has had all of these assets for so long, the trade would have happened already. I don't understand why they wouldn't have yet pulled the trigger. So therefore, I don't think he's going to Boston. I think the next likely team actually would be LA because of the way LA has disposable money and the way they have the young assets to make a move to get a guy like Anthony Davis. Because a lot of people don't understand a lot of the contracts teams sign, like, for example, getting a guy like Lance Stevenson for a year. What that does, it gives you money that you can give away to get a player because it's a contract the other team can then release from their books.
Yeah.
Therefore, unburdening you from your salary cap
Yeah.
and allowing you to sign players.
Well, you know what it is? It's now an indictment from LeBron saying, well, look, these first and second year punks are not really living up to my level of who I want
But that's
on
always
this
been
team.
the case. Anthony Wiggins was run out of town in Cleveland.
Well, yeah, he wanted to bring a ready-made team, right? And
Andrew
now,
Wiggins.
Andrew
Well,
Wiggins.
there's Anthony
Anthony
Bennett.
and
Yeah.
Andrew Wiggins.
And
So
on,
both of
on the
them
paper says
actually-
Antonio Davis, not Anthony Davis on the script over here. So I'm not
Who
sure.
wrote Antonio Davis?
I don't know who wrote that. But
I'm on a lot of cough medication.
But-
Sudafed is strong. No wonder they use it to make mad.
But the reality is that LeBron now is at the tail end of his career and doesn't want to wait for Ingram and Lonzo and LeVar Ball and LaMelo Ball to mature enough to become a team here. So I don't blame him. But, guys, we know what the NBA is all about. It's a star power league. Players run the league over here. And if Anthony Davis scratches his cheek and says, I want to go to the Lakers, it's going to happen. It's inevitable.
I think so. But I think he's more likely to go to the East just because I think he can make a name for himself in the East. What do you want, Duke?
I'm just trying to figure out, like, if you're saying, okay, so he wants to go to LA. So if Davis says that, what would stop the Pelicans from trading him to Boston that has way more assets?
Yeah.
well, LA has a lot of
Is that
assets
the
as
reason
well.
why he's been silent?
Well,
about
here's
that?
the thing, though, right? If Anthony Davis leaves New Orleans, he will lose $75 million because they can offer the most money, as we know, right? Contractually
Supermax.
speaking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they can offer,
Supermax,
yeah.
right? But he can say to the Celtics, I'm not going to re-up with you guys, and that would weaken their position because they're going to have to give a little bit less, or, sorry, I beg your pardon, more in terms of what's going to happen here.
You have to give him an extra year to compensate for the loss.
Exactly. So it ends up being a real chess game. Who's going to blink first and trying to
Who's gonna play first and who's gonna absorb some of that money?
But so the other thing is, it kind of feels like whoever comes up with the terminology of the CBA is essentially a 90s kid because max and supermax are terms we only used as children.
It's like fast
Super
food.
Smash.
It's
Yeah.
fast food. I'll take the Supermax combo, please. So, and the reality is, the Lakers in 18 months' time will be of who? Will be LeBron, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis. Will be LeBron, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis.
Fuck, man.
Like, who are we looking at here for the Lakers? And
I don't think Durant goes.
I don't think Durant goes either.
but it won't be Kawhi Leonard. He wants
don't
to
think
kill
Kawhi
LeBron.
Leonard's
I think
I don't
Kawhi
think
Leonard's
Kawhi
staying in
Leonard's gonna go
Toronto. I think
I honestly, me too. I was thinking that the other day. I really do. Yeah.
I did think so as well. Look, the thing is, it's not a bad team. Secondly, you get paid American dollars and you get to spend Canadian
I hate the
dollars,
Raptors.
and you get to be the star of an entire country, and you get to be weird, which is what Kawhi Leonard is.
You get to
Hold
be
on,
weird
hold
with
on,
Drake.
hold on. He just said I hate the Toronto
I
Raptors
hate the Raptors.
because you're Indiana Pacers.
No,
or,
I just can't stand the. I can't stand the Raptors and like their the shitty fan base that's become of it.
They have one of the best followings in the NBA.
Yeah, they have a big following, and if they start losing, that following is gone.
How many?
That's every
no,
Canadian
but
team.
no, no, the
fair
Raptors.
weather fans.
No, no,
fair
the
weather
Raptor fans. Toronto has a lot of transplanters.
No, they
living
can
elsewhere.
suck my ass and so can the
say
Blue
that,
Jays.
Mo, you say that.
How many
No, no.
Pacer fans go up to Toronto?
You say
I don't
that-
know.
Exactly, you. That's it.
I've been. I went to Toronto to watch a Pacers game.
Yes,
I've been
Jake
there.
Fosco.
But I will say,
Oscar Rozier.
I will say, Mo, 10 years ago, I almost got luxury box tickets for 10 of my friends for $1,000. So with all the
Toronto?
food and drinks
Yeah, no, you're right.
In Toronto?
in Toronto,
At the ACC?
yep,
My-
because they were
They're
so
so bad.
atrocious.
My,
Yeah.
Mike, you're right because my cousin has season tickets. He's been a holder for that for about 18 years.
So he's
So
grandfathered.
yeah, so since late 90s, that's when they were starting to peak a little bit.
Yeah.
They moved up in price, but then when they had that complete meltdown in the mid 2000s,
Yeah.
they actually upgraded his seats as they had the meltdown, and now his value of the seats are tremendous. He can sell his entire package of games and make up for the income
The only
investment
time-
he made on the
In some ways, we're all selling our entire package.
The only time I
Yeah,
actually liked
we are.
the only time I liked the Raptors is when Vince Carter was on the team because I love Vince Carter.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Amazing guy to watch. The only time I liked the Raptors. Other than that, suck it.
All right,
And the
there,
fucking Blue Jays too.
Crozier.
Peeze,
What do you want?
I don't take you as someone that's naive. You really think Kawhi's going to stay
do.
in Toronto? He's not.
Well, the
going
Nick
to LA.
Nurse thing helps a lot, right?
That's
He
a bet I'm
defended
willing to
him.
make.
What?
That's a bet I'm willing to make. And
That's
it's,
us bet?
and it's going to be the Clippers, by the way.
It's also possible, but
Yeah, but when
Yeah,
he
I mean,
when he
well-
doesn't realize there's
No, it's
Clipper
a-
scouts in attendance for every Raptor game, he's like, "Huh? They're hard. I didn't notice that."
No,
Was
but
that
the thing
simple?
is, he doesn't care because at the off season he's going to get approached and he's going to get the most. He's going to take the most money at in the best option. But I think Toronto's going to pay him.
Toronto will pay him. And the thing is, I think it's a good fit for the things he wants.
lifestyle.
The
They
lifestyle.
open
and-
a New Balance store in Toronto, man. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I
Tor-
see it.
Toronto. Well, no,
picture
they
everywhere.
Toronto
and,
is
and again,
the,
Toronto can only attract players when they're a strong team, and they are, by all levels and metrics that we use in the NBA,
Yeah.
one of the best teams, not in the East, in the best teams in the
In the
NBA.
league, yeah.
Now, do I think that the team as constructed will beat the Warriors? Is the question everyone asks. Nobody will beat the Warriors, so that question's irrelevant. That said, in the next tier of teams that are not the Warriors, they're just as good.
Yeah.
like
Absolutely.
if they make it to the finals and get cracked by the Warriors, which we all anticipate will be the result, I think he stays. Anything less than the NBA finals, I think he looks elsewhere. But Toronto, there's 3 flights daily going
Yeah.
from Toronto to LA, so he can be home in 4 hours. And the lifestyle might be a little bit chillier up here, but you're right though, Terry and Pease. The U.S. dollar, when you convert it,
Yeah.
is a lot more for him in this
It's
this country.
It's much more worth it. But and Toronto,
But it's also
High
like,
taxes in Toronto,
okay, it's cold. I get it. The guy's working during the winter. He's being driven around. Like, he's not walking around the streets of downtown Toronto.
yeah, I can't picture Kawhi Leonard shoveling his fucking
Yeah.
his driveway.
Doing the laugh.
Yeah, he probably lives in a condo that does it for him.
Doing the laugh. The snow is out there.
I
Yeah,
got
that was
I got to
awkward.
perfect it.
Yeah, do we have the laugh, Eagle, please, for Kawhi Leonard?
Forget it.
All of these things can be requested before the
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Yes, I know. I like
but
putting
we
the
didn't know
stress
we were
on
gonna do
Eagle.
the laugh. You know, to Mo's defense.
Yes.
But the
no.
Eagles' defense, you know, he has other stuff to do.
Well, the East is yeah, like playing Pokemon and Magic, as we see right now. He is.
Take it back. Find the goddamn laugh.
that fucking clip.
Jesus.
Fucking
Defend you one time. Make me look like an asshole.
make us look like fucking
Playing
douchebags.
Pokemon. Anyway, speaking of guys who look like douches, the Philadelphia Flyers getting rid of Dave Hextall, and it was one of those weird. It's one of those like college football things, right? Where the coach is gone, but he's not gone, and then
Yeah.
they keep him for another day. Oh no, he's not leaving, and then we fire him in the middle of the night, and that's what happened with Dave Hextall as he got fired by the Philadelphia Flyers earlier this week.
Bring in Ron.
And Ron Hextall was the one who brought in Dave Hextall, and he got fired.
Is it
10 days
because their
ago.
names sound like that he was hired in the first
Yeah,
place?
Hextall. Yeah, I like this guy a lot. But of course, there was the article that came out on the Broad Street Bullies website, literally putting what happened with Ron Hextall, how he ran the organization, and people were kind of turned off by him. So getting hacked, gentlemen, what do you come from this perspective of Dave Hextall being fired by the Flyers?
So the NHL has to have the worst run organizations from a business perspective, right?
I guess so.
Like-
No, I
like-
think NBA's up there.
I mean, What about Ron Hextall fighting a goaltender from the other end of the ice makes you think this guy's gonna be a great NHL executive?
I mean,
Like he was a meathead as a player.
Look
He,
at
he
Shanahan
was
too, same
reputed
thing.
for being dumb.
but look at most of the guys now. No, he wasn't reputed for being dumb. He's reputed for just being a fucking head case like every other NHLer.
Yeah, exactly. Why would you give them the
you have
keys
to
the
be a
kingdom?
nutcase to want to play skate with knives on your feet on ice, you waving sticks and hitting a freaking puck.
Where fighting is like
Is legal.
legislated within the game.
Accepted.
Oh,
You have
you,
to be a
you
nutcase
broke
to
a guy's
play that.
face 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Take-
all you get.
You get rewarded with not having
And a
to
standing
run on-
and a standing ovation.
Yeah. you get rewarded for not having to run around on blades.
So I mean, it's one of those things where Ron Hextall is actually a very intelligent guy. He's very well spoken too.
No,
He is.
0%
He is.
No,
No,
he
he
actually is.
He is. Yeah,
No,
he really
dumb.
is. And he is a good executive, but I don't think he was good enough to his first job coming into the NHL like that to take over. I mean, I don't know.
Well, he came from the Kings, and that's where they won the two
That's it,
cups,
yeah.
and he was integral for that development of the team. But like the Flyers are known for being quick trigger with every coach they've had and goaltenders. That's been the biggest knock on the Flyers. They can never find a goaltender since, ironically, when Ron Hextall left the team.
Yo, he's
What are you
legit
talking
keeping
about,
them
man?
away.
They had Robert Esch at one point.
Oh
He was
yeah, so
pretty
real
good,
winner
yeah.
right there.
His goals against average.
Garth
was
Snow?
4.5.
Dude, can we get
Garth
the
Snow, bro?
I don't think
dude?
so.
Can we
Garth
please get
Snow was there,
the list
absolutely.
of goalies the
Their-
Flyers have had since
Their
'98?
goalie situation is like the Bills' quarterback situation,
But-
or the Browns' quarterback
or
situation.
the
I'd
Raiders'
say.
head coaching situation.
But the
well,
best,
fuck
the
the
best
Raiders,
thing
man.
I've seen about the Flyers all week though was Gritty just mowing through Santa Claus.
Oh, I love Gritty, man.
Oh,
That guy's awesome.
they had like a bunch of Santa Clauses on ice, and he was just mowing through them.
So it's Gritty the best player the Flyers have produced in the last 20 years.
He's the most interesting.
No, they produce a lot of good players.
Gritty's
the
number
most-
one. He's adored by everybody.
He's adored, beloved, really.
He's the most interesting case they've had since the Eric Lindros concussion case.
I still can't get over. I think I spoke about it. I still can't get over his first tweet. You ever see it?
No.
It's me, Gritty. It's me. I fucking died, man.
Yeah.
I read that. I was fucking.
So
I
the,
was-
the
I
key,
was
the key to
floored,
Terry's
man.
heart is
All
having
right,
great
so,
school grammar.
dude, before he gives the answer to the question here,
It's me, Gritty.
so
I think you look
Can
like
I-
Gritty.
could I list some of the names
Nobody
of the goalies they've had?
So you want me to go back from when?
98. So John Van
98? Okay,
Beesbroek.
you
Just,
got
just
it.
do what we told you to do. Dude.
So Van Beesbroek,
Do your job.
Schomburg.
Breezebrook, we got
Sean Burke.
Chechmanik, we have
Chechmanik was good.
we
Chechmanik
have
was
Robert
good.
Esch.
Yeah.
There's also
Turek.
Nitti Maki.
Yeah.
Oh, Nady Mackey. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
There's also Martin Biron, who was
Yeah.
there for a cup of coffee.
Yeah, but he
cup of
didn't
coffee
really-
meaning like 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cup of
It's
coffee.
a long, it's a cold
Brian
coffee.
Boucher, Bobrovsky,
Yeah.
Ryan Emery.
Bobrovsky when he was bad.
Ray Emery.
Yeah,
Ray
the
Emery,
late-
He was a starter for
The
a
late
while.
Ray Emery,
Yeah.
yes. May God rest his soul.
Bobrovsky was there for quite a bit. There's also
Bobrovsky.
Ilya Brizgilov.
Brizgalov,
Brizgalov.
yeah.
Remember the whole
It's
thing?
cool.
Remember the whole thing with the space and he was all nerdy
It's
and
pretty
shit?
cool in
There
Edmonton.
was also Steve Mason as well.
Steve
Steve Mason was actually a very good young goalie. A lot of
And
aspirations.
Most recently, it's been Brian Elliott and Michael Newvert.
Yeah, Neuvert, yeah. And then
So like
Cutter.
a couple of decent guys and then a bunch of trash.
A lot of like mid-tier goalies and a lot of backups.
Yeah, but the thing
Yeah.
that's
A lot of
been the
backups.
biggest
A lot of
downfall
backups.
of the Flyers, right? They've always had super powered lines, and then
Yeah.
comes to their goaltending, and they always choked away the series. for
even
them.
even when Ron Hextall was there, they would win games 7-5. You know, like. And he would be considered as, he has all these wins, but he's allowed 5 goals. Like, your team has to, like, really
But
be
he scored
amazing.
one though.
He scored one, yeah.
He scored one, so he's
Your
But it's
team
allowed.
really
also-
has to be really good in order
that
to win.
was the era. He was the end of the era where the goaltending in the NHL was generally trash.
Yeah, where they
Where
would.
Grant Fuhrer
try
was
and-
considered a
where they
star.
try and stop a puck from center ice like
The
this.
Kirk
With
McLean,
the legs
like,
over like this. Look how many holes there are.
the Kirk McLean style of goaltending, the
Yeah, exactly,
stand-up
yeah.
style here. But
People
Yeah,
wondered what.
whoever thought standing up in nets was a good idea?
Just it's a line
Imagine a soccer goalie's like, "No, I'm a standing goalie. I don't move. I don't go side to side."
so we go from one toxic dump to another, and Manchester United and Jose Mourinho being fired finally for Man U fans. All right, so this has been coming for a long time.
I told you. I think I predicted this to you.
Perhaps after the Liverpool game, maybe. But look here, here's the thing, right? So for those who've not been following soccer, because we only have like one soccer fan in this whole following of the show.
No, it's me.
Oh, there's
It's
3
you.
of us.
Right here.
4.
I brought
you.
the story, guys. I'm the one who
Sure.
broke it.
You wrote it
here.
in there.
So
So-
the timeline, it appeared, was the beginning of the end for Marino was in the summertime when they were in the U.S. for the tour, and he said, hey, they didn't sign my guys. We got cheap, essentially, with what we wanted
Yeah.
to do. And him and Paul Pogba have never had a real
I'm sure Pogba's
kumbaya relationship, and Pogba was pretty much benched the last 3 games, including the loss to Liverpool on Sunday at Anfield.
What a fantastic loss it was.
And yes, it was. And after the barrage of missiles thrown by Liverpool towards Man U, they get cracked by the Reds, and now Man U sits in the middle of nowhere trying to get back into the top 4 for Champions League. So, gentlemen,
Not
Jose
gonna get
Mourinho gets fired by the most iconic club in the world. What's the next move for this team?
Well, what's interesting though is I love when he says that they cheaped out. So you willing to give back some of your salary to get players?
Well, the buyout for him was $28 million.
So that's what I'm saying.
He's making $65 million this year from 3 different teams.
Yeah, the
He's
buyout.
still getting paid by Real. He's still getting paid by Inter.
Yeah.
So he is a Ponzi scheme.
Pretty much. But to me is that how did they cheap out? They still have a lot of expensive players. Maybe they didn't re-sign Mkhitaryan or whatever. But
well, they sold him.
They
for,
sold him, but
for
whatever.
Sanchez.
But at the end of the day, they still have world-class players in their team. There's no reason why that team should be 6 to 8.
Well, they haven't signed central defenders in a long time, and that's where his biggest cry has been. Is that look, we signed Eric Bailly, we signed Ibrahimovic, we let go of Rooney, but the reality is
Let
the
go of
guys they bring in a guy like Fred, who
Yeah.
has yet to do any damage on the turf, and the reality is you look at how a lot of these teams are built with 2 strong center backs, and he was clamoring for that, and they wouldn't give him the money. And the Glazers, who own the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, have been known for being penny pinchers, and a lot of Man U fans aren't happy with the style of ownership that
They just bought him
used.
up for $28 million.
But I think that what
You gotta pay him off, yeah.
contractually obligated. But I think that Mourinho is. I think he's washed up as a coach. I don't think that he has the impact that he used to have. I think that the game has outgrown him a little bit. The fact that you're saying is that I needed that position in order to be successful. To me, that means you can't manage. You need amazing players all the time.
So like, were you ever good, or was just you knew how to work with the pieces that you had? Like a
at
good coach should be able to adapt to
Yeah.
the surroundings, right?
At the beginning of his career, he had done a lot with a little. But now it seems like he can't do anything with a lot.
He reminds me of Larry Brown, the NBA coach. He used to go
It's
from
true, yeah.
He'd go from team to team, be there for 2-3 years shelf life. They would have that sprint of success, and then it would die out, right? Like Ken Hitchcock with the Hampton Oilers in years past in the NHL. But I just think that the beginning of the end was there, and you can see Marino did not want to be there anymore, and it was obvious the fans and the players did not support him. And Ed Woodward, another head case on that Man U board, who's been tone deaf to everything, realized I need to make a move now, because if they got embarrassed by PSG in the Champions League in February, it would have been all hell would break loose, and who knows what direction Man U.
I thought they were going to sign Laurent Blanc as a coach, but I guess they went to Solskjaer.
Yeah, well, the Man U guy, right?
I'm just gonna miss his press conferences.
When I found out that Solskjaer was signed, I'm like, so he's only going to be there for the second half of the game? Or?
The last 10 minutes?
I don't think he's ever started a game, but he's scored fucking 100 million goals for Man U.
Well,
but to me, is that they're not in the top 4. So you're saying
number 6.
in order for us to be in the top 4, I needed to have signed these players. Look at the teams in the top 4. Okay, who do we have? We have Chelsea,
Liverpool.
Man U, Liverpool, and
Liverpool, Man
Tottenham.
City, Chelsea, and Spurs. Yes,
and Spurs.
Yeah,
So
in
Tottenham
order, yeah.
has a smaller budget than Man U does.
Well, they're gonna have a bigger budget with the new stadium.
They're gonna have a bigger budget, but
For the
they've
moment.
spent less money than
They
Man
didn't spend
U
any
has.
money. They didn't spend zero money on.
But I'm
on,
saying,
on signings this
But
past summer.
that's one point. But
Yeah.
also on their books right now, they still spend less money than Man U does. Liverpool the same thing. So
they sell more.
but they sell more. Liverpool
Yeah.
because Liverpool develops and gets rid of them.
Yeah.
Because they can't support. They can't
can't
sign the
afford
big because
them,
they don't have. They're not a huge market team. So, but they're still doing well, and they always do well. So the excuse is fucking dumb to me. I think he's gone to the point where he's just, I need the best players or else I'm not going to be successful, and he's tired.
He's
to
like a
admit it.
John Gruden. He wants veteran.
Go to China
He
or
wants
go to
veteran
Qatar.
type of players. He might
Yeah.
go to the LA Galaxy from what the talk
go to the
is.
States. You know, fucking have fun there with your with 3 players that actually know how to play soccer.
Yes, Duke.
The main difference between the wages in Man U and Tottenham are roughly 120 million euros.
There you go.
It's a huge difference.
Yeah, Man U's
Fuck
one
me,
of the
man.
biggest grossing clubs in the world when it comes to sponsorship deals, and now they are looking towards their next manager. Who, like, if they're going to write off the year, they won't get Champions League.
They're saying Zidane, I think, next year.
I think it's Zidane. They get Zidane, but will he be the right fit? I'm not
think so
sure.
either.
We'll see what happens. Speaking of the right fit, eye of the wiser as Canelo beats up on Rocky. Gentlemen, it was a very, very emphatic win by Canelo Alvarez on the weekend. A very quick fashion fight. He maybe could have done 2 more fights for himself for the value that he had.
He's fighting tomato cans, man. The zone they're gonna be pumping in order for him to fight anybody. He's fighting tomato cans. I can't stop burping. He's fighting tomato cans. Like it just is. It's not. And Rocky's a great fighter. He's not to the level of Canelo. He's also, like Peeze told me before, he dropped 35 pounds.
He dropped from 190 pounds to 178.
It's a big drop.
Well, because he's probably not cutting so much weight at 190.
Well, sorry. He dropped to 178, and then the last week cut an extra 10 pounds to make it to 168.
It's a big drop though for boxers.
But if you look, he looked like a starving Aaron Rodgers. He just
malnourished.
looked so unhealthy, and like in the first round, he took an immense
dive, man.
left hook right to the gut, and collapsed to a knee. And it happened 2 or 3 times.
He took a dive, man, and it sucks. I mean, good for him. He's he made his money. It's only one loss. It's gonna be against Canelo. He'll be able to fight more. He's gonna make more money. He's probably gonna have a good career because he's a fucking good boxer. But Canelo, taking these fights, you can tell that he's just trying to make his money back to DAZN from the $360 million they paid him to be their prime guy.
Well, it's the market is Mexico. It's
Yeah,
it's a Latin market that they're trying to have more sales with, and that's what DAZN's looking at. They're trying to capitalize on that Central America area.
Their 2 biggest markets right now are in South America and in the UK.
Yeah,
And they pinned a UK boxer against the Mexican boxer, and it was pretty obvious pandering. But look, it worked out. It got me to the TV screen. I'm not a huge fight fan. Terry's our fight guy.
Let him fight Billy Joe, man, if you want to get.
apparently he might fight David Lemieux next. That's
Another punch drunk guy. I love David Lemieux, man. I remember when he was like 13 years old at the gym. I love the guy, man, but he's punch drunk. He can't do it anymore.
But the talk is that he wants to fight Canelo Alvarez, and he was on the undercard at the Alvarez fight. So,
Yeah.
but like
I mean, he got knocked out by Triple G in the 6th round. David Lemieux did.
yeah.
I see the same thing happening against Canelo, if not faster.
So who was in a fight though? Oscar De La Hoya or our boy from UFC,
Dana White? Oscar De La Hoya would smack the shit out of Dana White.
Well, it depends how much coke is Oscar
And
De La Hoya
is he wearing
taking.
his high heels and his eagle? If we can get a picture of Oscar De La Hoya in his high heels and his stockings, if you can do that for me, it would be great for the fans.
Oscar Della Cokehead.
Oscar De La Cokehead, he's a fucking nutcase. But if Dana White squares up with him, there's no problems, man.
But are we going boxing or going UFC rules?
Well, UFC rules and anything. He
I don't
won't be
think
able to
it
get
matters.
close. Dana White is not like a UFC guy. He's a boxing guy.
Yeah.
He started as a boxing promoter years ago. He got run out of Boston. He got run out of Vegas because he was such an asshole. He made a lot of enemies. And he's never really done any jiu-jitsu, any wrestling, whatever. So he's still a boxer. Oscar De La Hoya fucks him up.
Oscar De La Hoya, I remember watching him in the Olympics, and he like captivated me. I thought this guy was the greatest thing I had ever seen.
I was a huge fan. Yeah, there it is. Fuck, man. What the fuck?
For those who are listening to the show,
No, yeah, I guess. So. Just Google Oscar De La Hoya heels, and you'll find it. It's beautiful.
Fair enough. Field of Dreams. This really stabbed.
you wrote this on purpose for me.
I did. Field of Dreams.
I get a text at 11 o'clock at night from Moe Khan. I'm in a cough syrup haze, barely conscious.
It was actually like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when I texted.
I have no idea.
It was
Guy,
like-
it's been a long week.
Time
for
is
me.
nothing
So
when you're on Buckley's.
Justin Fields, the
Scissor.
former 5-star recruit quarterback, number 1 quarterback in the ESPN 300 from last year, went to Georgia, backed up Jake Fromm this year, and now has decided to
Jake Fromm
transfer. Which now I believe since 2011 there was like 19 5-star quarterbacks. 12 have transferred from the original commitment that they were at.
2 of them from Georgia.
Yeah, and Jake
Yeah.
and Jacob Eason and
Well, I
Justin
mean,
Fields.
so I wasn't a huge fan of Eason, to be honest. I'm a UGA fan. I don't know if you guys know this.
No, I didn't know.
Ooh,
Sorry, we
no, never. We thought you were Georgia Tech fan.
we weren't
Georgia
aware.
State over
You
here.
get
know?
that shit out of your mouth. You never joined
You're a
Georgia
hornet
Tech.
or whatever the fuck. What are they called?
Yellow
Georgia
jacket.
State.
Yellow jacket. He's a real. He's got the yellow jacket skin.
No.
on
Yeah,
him.
you look kind of yellow.
No, that's just the jaundice. The thing is,
You don't look like a bulldog, that's for sure.
the thing is, I'm more bulldog shaped than B shaped. My stinger's not that long.
We're like a Georgia State guy over here.
So the thing is,
the Fighting Dead Tree.
so that's a bit of the way that NCAA is right now. Is that guys see this as a showcase against the NFL, and if they're not going to get the chance to start, they don't want to risk it on having perhaps just 1 year to make the name for themselves. They want to go to a place where they can play right away. I was surprised when Fields committed in the first place to UGA, so he got an excellent
that he's
payday.
only a year younger than Jake Fromm. He's only going to play 1 year.
Well, and the thing is, Eason was starting last year,
That too.
and I thought Jake Fromm was going to transfer out, and Eason got hurt.
He's a Georgia guy, though. He's not moving anywhere.
Because
Well,
he's from the state of Washington. He's now
Yeah.
back at
Yeah,
UW.
exactly.
but he actually got the starting job after Eason got hurt the first game.
Yeah.
And then at that point, I was like, oh, no, he's ready now. And the thing is, a lot of these guys, it's not like it was before. They come ready to play. They come ready to play from high school.
Of course,
Did you see that
They're
clip
molded.
of Fields?
No.
There's a clip of him after they beat South Carolina. He's walking off the field, and I guess someone caught him, and he goes, bleep, all I just did was hand off the ball. So you can tell, like, I wasn't happy there.
But back then, look what we had as running backs. What are you gonna do?
But that's the thing. Georgia has so many weapons, right? You're not going to be able to appease every 5-star, 4-star hotshot that comes to your school. But then here comes the NCAA, where the rule is, of course, that
You're allowed.
he's going to supposedly appeal from what was said to him in a derogatory way from a Georgia baseball player
Oh, really?
after a game. I think it was against Tennessee earlier in the season. So he might appeal, and he might get that appeal to go his way to be automatically eligible to play next season.
But you
twice.
are now. If you
It's out of a year. If you're a graduate,
no,
then
so you're allowed to. I know you have to sit out a year, but there's a
if you
specific
graduate
rule.
within 3 years, you
But
can
that's such
go.
look. So I'm a UGA fan, and I'd love to punish him, but it's such a ridiculous rule.
Yeah, I think so.
Like, so coaches can leave, they can transfer, they can go work for another team and coach against the
And
team
still
they
get
just
paid
left.
from the school.
And still get paid from school.
Yeah.
Buyouts.
The guys who are not getting paid, not legally anyway, they're not getting paid, and then they can be blocked by their school from playing for another school for that year.
The only schools you can go to is like Canadian university schools. You can go to Ryerson.
Concordia, man, they're hiring. They're
No,
signing.
but
they're
like
signing.
even to me, it's even when they go out of conference. What's the benefit? You're only doing it to be a dick.
Well, what's he gonna do? Maybe he's not in a good place at Georgia. Maybe he was promised a lot of things.
Yeah, look, the thing is, right?
There has to be a reason why these kids do it.
Jacob Eason left, right? And as has now Justin Fields from all indications. This reminds me of Texas A&M after Johnny Manziel when they had Kyler Murray, who went to Oklahoma and did okay over there from what we've seen, right? And they had Kyle Allen, 2 5-star quarterbacks, and that blew up in their face, and they kind of regressed. Not saying this is going to blow up in their face in Georgia, but it's tough to maintain an even keel of
Thing is,
guys in the same room.
Georgia is embedded in the middle of SEC territory for recruitment purposes.
That's Atlanta. That's what Georgia Tech is, actually.
Duke, what were you gonna say?
Peeze, who are you a fan of?
The Bulldogs.
Right. You keep saying it. I'm a fan of UGA. I'm a fan of UGA. Every time.
UGA, yeah.
Every time. I'm just saying.
Everyone
knows you're
well,
a fan
because
of Georgia.
every show can be someone's first show.
That's a good point. But
I'm just doing my job.
Fuck up. Fuck. I
So-
don't know.
Hey, Duke, who are you a fan of in college? Nobody gives a shit. You're not on screen.
No one knows how he looks like.
He looks like an albino. What else did we establish today?
Blonde hair, forearms.
Yo, so what's going on with the hair?
What hair?
Do blonde people have more body
I
hair?
did look it up, and it's in fact the opposite of what I was saying. And statistically, blonde people don't have any facial hair.
there
I
you
just
go.
happen to be a weird person.
So
Well, it's because not blonde. It's white because you're albino.
where does Justin Fields go? They're saying Ohio State, Oklahoma, or Florida State could be the destination for Mr. Fields. So in your opinion, Mr. UGA, where will he end up?
Mr. Uga.
Uga.
Where will Fields end up?
Yes.
It's so tough because there are a ton of schools that, like, will he go, let's say, somewhere like Oregon that has a pedigree that's going to be losing Herbert this year to the NFL?
If he declares yes.
I think the Pac-10 is or Pac-12 is likely a landing spot for him. It's a good breeding ground for quarterbacks. I think that would be a safe bet.
You know where he ends up, Terry?
Where?
He goes to like Blinn College,
Georgia Tech, or-
JUCO, and he goes to Alabama in 2 years.
I would-
Booyah!
I'd be
Tua's
so
going to be
mad.
gone. Jalen Hurts is going to be gone.
I'd
And
be so mad.
Jalen Hurts is out. And guess who takes over? Justin Fields.
And then they beat
Georgia.
in the national
running the
championship.
fake punt play.
And then we're talking about this 2 years from
Maybe
now.
that's why he transferred, because Kirby Smart, holy shit. What the hell? The hell you
He
doing?
was the one that had the fake punt.
We're talking about this at episode 103.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, I told you fucking guys, I'm a Uga fan.
I don't know if you know this.
I'm a Guy U fan.
When we,
Georgia
get, when, we
University.
get, when we get merch, it's gonna say Hot Sauce Sports. I don't know if you know this.
So I think he ends up at Alabama in 2 years,
Yeah, that's a
winning
good
the
point,
national
Mario.
title,
I
beating
think-
that
take it to the
Georgia
bank.
and the
I'm so
SEC title game as usual.
Make
It's
a bet.
become a foregone conclusion now. All right, coming up next, we have a different segment here. No guest this week, but a little bit of a change up here. Stay tuned here on Hot Sauce Sports. All right, welcome back here to Hot Sauce Sports, the year-end show, as we'll take a 2-week break, or is it 1 week?
Two.
2, right?
One,
So-
two.
Yeah,
2 weeks?
2 weeks. Yes. 2
Okay,
weeks.
me and Duke are gonna come in and do one.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys will.
Yeah, we'll do one. Actually, me and Duke are gonna do one.
Yeah.
I'll drink in the corner.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I'll watch you guys.
It's
online.
gonna be the show with no facts.
Yeah.
So
Let's fucking do it. Okay, me and you.
Yeah, it's a great
We'll do
show.
it next week. We'll figure like what Thursday. Thursday is good.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Or
Whatever
we
you
do it on a
want.
Saturday. I'm fucking serious, Duke.
Okay.
If you set that
talk
shit
about
up-
this- let's talk about this after the show.
No, we'll do it right now. If you set that shit up, we'll do it.
All right, you set it up. Let's talk right now, guys. Discussions. What do we do? All right, here we go. Next segment. No guests this week as we are going guestless this week. So what are we doing here, gentlemen, for this segment?
So we have still the quick fire topics to go
Yes,
through.
I know.
You know,
All right,
none
so-
of that list of stuff that we all added.
Yes, I know. So in the show script, I still don't know what the headline is for this topic for Steph Curry.
It's
it was
no headline. What is it? Conspiracies.
Right. So headline 6, conspiracy. Even though it doesn't say conspiracy.
So
on
he's a conspiracy
It
theorist.
sounds like a conspiracy.
He's come back. He's come back.
We
and-
all know what it is. You don't
Yeah.
know what it is.
He's come back and he said that he thought the moon landing never happened,
it. Yeah,
but he's come back and said that it has happened because they threatened
Science.
his life.
yes, I'm sure NASA
Who is
came.
they? Who are these?
So
they?
I
Cape
don't
Canaveral.
think that we landed.
So
on-
Moe Khan, you need to know that Terry is
I don't consider myself a conspiracy theorist,
but he is.
Oh,
but
you
I'm
are.
pretty much.
Oh,
I
yeah,
pretty
you
much
are.
not on everything though, but on a lot of things.
Yeah.
So you don't believe people landed on the moon?
I do not believe we landed on the moon.
Is it because it's only this big when it's in the sky?
Yeah, how the fuck can you land on something that's smaller than my dick?
For the record, that's what my great grandmother said. She had no education.
So I don't think we landed on the moon. I have no scientific knowledge or anything. Why haven't we gone back? They're saying, oh, because there's nothing up there.
Because there's
Well,
nothing
Yeah,
there.
okay,
It's like
whatever.
that-
But
it's-
it's like just like a thing. Just go, you know.
So it's like the Cowboys.
Bro, you've been to my house once, right? How come you never been
Cowboys
back? Because there's nothing to do.
Because I came and I was really bored.
Just the house.
I was really bored of your house, so I just never decided never to
It's
go
just
back.
boring and far.
Yeah, what would they go? What would they do on the moon?
I mean, sex in spacesuit sounds fun.
But how can you have sex in a spacesuit?
With a lot of difficulty. Or you cut a hole and hope for the best.
Yes, Duke.
I actually believe that this whole E. coli lettuce scare is actually the government forcing you to eat more bacon.
Yeah. Oh, I've been smashing
Hey,
bacon.
you know
since
what?
it
That's a
happened.
good point because
Even though
bacon
I don't
sales have
eat
gone down
bacon.
according to vegans.
Yeah, I don't eat bacon, so I don't know.
And
if
we all
that's
know
about.
vegans know a ton about science.
Bacon, so vegans, Jews, and Muslims.
Conspiracy.
And vegetarians.
What is your favorite conspiracy?
My favorite conspiracy, like
Yeah.
the one I like on the moon. Obviously, I kid because I have nothing to know. I don't know anything. But
I had all my defenses up for you
so
about regolith and how it's.
okay,
how
give
it's
me a
reflective.
conspiracy theory, and I'll tell you if I believe it or not. How
All
about
right, let's go to Infowars and watch
Well,
this guy
mine-
on Infowars.
My big one that I was obsessed with since I was a grade school kid is the John F. Kennedy assassination.
that? Okay, I think
No-
they actually assassinated.
No way that was one person.
No way.
No way
His head
that was
If you watch Seinfeld, you know.
back and to the left, baby.
Back to the left.
Absolutely.
Back to
The Warren
It's
Commission
impossible.
report was a goddamn joke.
Yeah. Anyway, what else? Give me another one.
Loch Ness monster.
That's not a conspiracy theory. There's
That's
nothing
an urban-
conspiratorial about that, Mo. It's just-
9/11.
I think it was an inside job. Yes.
So what happened?
Yes. Obviously it happened.
Yeah,
It was on the news.
Was it? Were there planes?
Yeah, there was planes. You see the planes, but
Were
it
there
was
also explosives.
there was explosives. Yes.
Flat Earth.
I think the Earth is round, and any doofus who thinks the Earth is flat can
Kyrie
suck
Irving.
my ass. What? No, he was joking.
Chemtrails.
No, that's stupid. No, I don't believe in chemtrails.
Okay.
I clearly think that they're cutting out clouds and moving them in order to to create rain. For what reason would they do that?
Crop circles.
Crop circles is fucked up. It's not a conspiracy
I
theory.
know. I went along with
But
Mo.
it's fucked up. Crop circles are fucked up.
UFOs.
Yeah, I believe there's UFOs. I believe we've encountered.
I have a theory that Mo doesn't know what a conspiracy is.
Yeah, it's not a conspiracy theory.
Well, I think it is.
A conspiracy theory would be like
So hiding UFOs.
yeah, exactly. That's the conspiracy.
Yes,
theory.
Duke.
This one's from Eagle. He believes the world is run by lizard people.
Well, you are a lizard person.
So he wants to inherit the Earth.
Just play Pokemon, Ego. Play Pokemon. He has it on his screen now.
Are you a conspiracy theorist of any kind?
I don't care, man.
What do you mean you don't care?
This
Fuck.
guy stays up at night watching X Files. Oh man,
X-Files is
David
great.
Duchovny,
Yeah,
man,
fucking
great.
Yeah.
Mo, I just feel like you've never seen quality television programming.
I feel like you don't know what outside looks like.
I've been beyond the shipping container.
Mo spends his
outside.
entire life looking at box scores.
All right, Raptors 11-4 at home. Jordan projecting that record.
Even like for pornography, it's like
Mo, what's your favorite
triple-double,
conspiracy
baby.
theory? What's your favorite conspiracy theory? Oh, well, I think that the box score on the Raptors game should have been this, but they really
The
wanted
attendance
Kawhi
was
to get
wrong,
the extra
actually.
block.
It's 1899, but it
Yeah.
was 1898. I don't know why I said that for.
They wanted Kawhi to get that extra block, to bump up his money.
I'm going to watch
what
that
about,
game.
yeah,
film
what
again.
about what about sports conspiracy theories?
Oh, like what?
Like for example, everyone
was
always
it
thinks the
fumble?
World Cup is fixed.
Well, I mean, not the entire World Cup, but there's a lot of fixing going on in sports.
Was it
in
a
general.
fumble or was it tuck rule?
No, that was okay. So we all have a mutual friend that's convinced that call came from the president of the United States.
Who said that?
That doesn't make any sense.
Because the not literally came down, but because the Patriots, that was the year of 9/11.
Yes.
They wanted to pump up patriotism, and
But
he
all of these
thinks that
teams are from the United States.
yeah, but no, because their
No matter
name,
who wins, it's patriotic.
but their name is the Patriots. It's not the Steelers or the Raiders. It's Patriots. USA. I'm not gonna say on air who it is, but
It's literally
I agree with the guy, man.
it's literally a league that bans you for kneeling during
Yes.
during the
So no,
Star Spangled Banner.
I'm obviously I think it's far fetched, and I think he knows it's far fetched too. But honestly I have no reason to not believe it.
So the Jordan rules, is that a conspiracy, yes or no?
The what?
Jordan
Okay, so
rules.
what, like,
What's the Jordan?
for it to
Rule?
be conspiracy
You
means a
got-
bunch of people got together to pass.
What's the Jordan rule?
What?
What's the Jordan
The
rule?
referees always making calls in favor for Jordan.
But it's happened where the ref was mic'd up, and he goes to Michael Jordan. He goes, I didn't see it, Michael, but I'll trust you, and boom, tease the guy up. You see it. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. Michael, I didn't see it, but I believe you. And boom, tease the guy up.
All right.
The fuck? There is a Jordan rule.
Yes, Duke.
Some people believe that the 1985 NBA draft is rigged so that the Knicks can draft Patrick
Patrick
Ewing.
Ewing.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it
There's
still
a huge
didn't work.
They
Great
never
job.
won. They
Knicks
never won.
continue to screw me over.
Bill Buckner, was that a conspiracy?
No, I think conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy. I think he took a bet to do that on purpose. Like he took money.
I think he was just tired.
That too.
So
But
it's
yeah,
162 games in the regular season.
So that's not a conspiracy. A conspiracy theory would be: do you think Pete Rose is held out of the? Colin Kaepernick is in the NFL because of what he did, because of kneeling? That's a conspiracy theory.
86 quarterbacks have been signed since his last game.
Nathan Peterman is 2 of those quarterbacks.
Yeah, exactly.
And Mark Sanchez is 3 of those quarterbacks.
All right. Speaking of quarterbacks, we go to the NBA. The naughty or nice segment here.
What's on the wish list for every NBA team? I know the Phoenix Suns. So have you guys seen this? This old lady, this fan, went off on the Phoenix
She's cute,
Suns.
though. She's cute.
And since then, by the way, far improved. So her wish is for the Phoenix Suns to spend some money, and here's what she's had to say.
Mr. Sarver has done nothing to improve this team
She sounds hot.
in the 14 years he's owned it. He's never funded or bought, paid for 2 or 3 key players,
I kiss her without her
which
teeth in.
make any sports team, professional sports team,
Teeth just getting in the way.
successful or on the road to success. He's so tight, he squeaks when he walks.
That's awesome.
All right.
So
Sounds
what she
so
wants.
hot.
She wants Santa to bring him a couple bags of cash. As for the Warriors, I think they're getting nothing this year. They've been naughty. They've been arguing on the court.
That's true.
They've been arguing. So any other teams, guys, naughty or nice? What do you think they're getting from Santa?
I think the Raptors are going to be getting. They're going to get some good gifts from Santa this year. I think they've been nice.
Yeah?
They've been nice.
You
Yeah, and
think,
it's hard for me to admit that.
Is it a bunch of other shitty fans?
They are shitty fans.
bunch of
The
worthless.
shitty fans can get all cold, but the Raptors, the organization, I'm not.
The
yeah.
Nuggets and Kings getting some nice.
Yeah,
gifts.
it's true. It's true, I think so.
Nuggets, the best team in the NBA, along with the Raptors. Terry's Raptors. We'll call them the Terry Raptors.
The Raptors.
It's
The
Raptors.
Raptors.
Tyrannosaurus Raptors.
Raptosaurus Rex.
Sex.
The Chicago Bulls getting some coal.
Some coal, yeah, I think so.
Well, I think
Tanking
if,
the
I
season.
think if they quit if they quit hiring guys from the 1950s, like traveling back in time to get guys while they're in the 1950s, they'll actually get a gift. They'll be on the nice list. But for now, definitely naughty. Definitely naughty.
Yes, Duke.
As a Knicks fan, I would love to see Wall with the Knicks. I think he needs a change of scenery.
John Wall.
John Wall.
That'd be
A
nice.
man who makes more money than like 85% of New York.
But they don't have
anything.
anybody. They don't
Give me
have anybody really to bring up the ball. You know.
You know Wall Street's in New York, right?
I know, but that's not a movable contract.
Where's he from, John Wall? Though he's from
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Hey, you know what?
Raleigh.
That's New York.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Close. It's like an 8-hour drive. We could just consider New York.
The trade would actually be Enes Kanter for John Wall and Troy Brown Jr.
Wait, Enos would be worth two players?
The
Well, yeah, I
contract,
guess
yeah,
because
value.
it's basically a salary dump.
He has a good contract.
He has a monster contract.
Yeah.
Big
Huge.
money. Okay.
Huge contract. Big admirer of Canada, actually, Enes Kanter.
Yeah, I like how he was on. I forgot what show it was, and he was wearing his uniform.
What?
I like when he was on a show. I forgot which one it was. Like a talk show.
That's a great show.
He was wearing his uniform.
That's a
Well,
great
'cause
show.
no one would recognize him.
Yeah,
Otherwise.
I think that's why he wore it. It's pretty funny. I wouldn't recognize him.
You know what's funny? I won't say which player it was. I was at a CFL game, a very popular league,
It is.
and there was a former
It
player.
entertains 17,000 people a week.
Yeah, minimum. There was a former player who I saw with my colleague, and I go, "Is that so and so?" And the only reason why we figured it out because he hasn't played football in 2 years, he was wearing his game-used jersey as a fan, and we looked at the guy, and
It
go,
was his own jersey.
his own jersey.
The
Would you guys do that?
No.
CTE is strong. I don't even wear.
I wouldn't
jerseys
even
in
wear my
public.
friend's jersey that play in the CFL.
Yeah, you
I
do.
like so like
Don't lie.
every time people go to Florida, they bring me back a Miami Dolphins jersey because I'm a Miami Dolphins fan. I don't know if you guys know that.
I brought you back one. Remember the
Terry bought me one.
Cameron Wake?
But I wear them at home. I will never wear them in public because I'm not a child.
What's the
Because
age?
I'm not
What's
a
the age,
16-year-old
though?
kid
What's
in
the
high
age
school.
for someone to stop wearing a jersey?
You know what? It
Once you
depends.
can tie, once you can tie a half Windsor, you don't need to wear a jersey.
No, I think there's certain styles that people like. Like I wouldn't. I would wear like a nice baseball jersey. Out.
Soccer, I would do.
Yeah. Well, soccer, no.
I would judge
find
you.
it's too.
I would judge you.
Soccer,
It's
I'd
too
wear.
ready to play in. If you know what I mean. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, baseball looks leisurely.
yeah, baseball's like I can wear it with like a hoodie under it. You know, it looks kind of cool.
What you jerky boy?
What the fuck's a jerky boy, man?
You never seen the movie Jerky Boys?
No.
This guy's never seen Jerky Boys?
No, I've never seen jerky boy.
Tell you
Eagle,
look at
please
that, though.
Google
Is
the
that my
picture
homework
of
for
Jerky
next week?
Boys, please. I'm sorry, Eagle. I didn't want to interrupt your
interrupt
Pokemon
fucking
game.
Dragon Ball Z and your hentai.
Online shopping for our
Fucking
gifts over here.
Hentai porn. Fuck
Yes,
over
I
there.
do.
You can get me some hentai porn.
Yeah, why not?
If you're the Denver Nuggets, right?
You wear it tucked in or tucked out?
Yeah, like your roster's riddled with injuries. Wouldn't you go for a trade for someone like Kemba Walker?
No.
Oh, I love Kemba
No,
Walker.
he's a me guy. They need.
Yo, what the fuck is that, man?
no,
That's
can you give me like
jerky
a
boy?
visual, like the actual movie? Yeah. The third picture. Go up
The
one.
one of them in the
yeah.
thing?
That's you right there.
And
That's
the-
you
so-
right there.
And the Mets jersey.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
you right there.
I'd rock a Mets jersey for sure.
Yes.
Mets
I used, to
jersey's
have
nice, though.
I used to have an Expos jersey. I used to wear it.
Yeah.
To answer your question, Kemba Walker is too much of a me guy.
Okay, finish your fucking Kemba Walker story, man. Why do you think they're gonna get signed? He's gonna get signed.
Well, I just think that they need that extra boost in the roster, and they've been dealing with a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a couple of players I feel like that are going to get traded. DeMar DeRozan will probably get traded if they want to dump, if they want to just embrace the tank.
Yeah.
And Kemba Walker looks like he's on the way out. And John Wall, to be honest,
It's not a movable contract.
I
No
know
one's
it's
into that
not, but
deal.
it would be great. I think it would be great for his career.
Bradley
Kemba
Beal.
Walker
a
is the
lot,
next.
of, lot of hypotheticals.
Kemba Walker is the next great Carmelo Anthony.
You think so?
Yes. He's a great scorer.
I think
who can do
Carmelo's
nothing else.
much better than Kemba Walker is, obviously.
Oh yeah, I know,
Yeah,
but
okay,
there's gonna
okay.
be someone else who's like the next version of
the
that.
next
right?
guy that thinks he's better than he actually is, kind of thing. Or
No,
doesn't
the next guy who's a very good pure scorer
doesn't produce as
who,
much as he
who
should.
cannot play in this version of the NBA. like how Carmelo Anthony is already the next Allen Iverson.
Like it pisses me off in the NBA how they've colluded against Jimmer Fredette, how he's not in the NBA. That's what
Oh
pisses
yeah.
me off.
Oh yeah.
No,
Because
his inability
Jimmer
to play the
needs to
game.
be in the NBA.
Yep. Absolutely.
Love me some Jimmer.
Isn't he making like $40 billion playing?
He wants to
China?
come back, and he's 75
China.
Give me a
points.
salary in China.
He scored
please.
75 points in China.
Yeah.
In
Shanghai
China.
Sharks.
Yeah.
I think I could score 30 in China.
Maybe.
I can back those dudes
What's
down.
the
No, there's a lot
net
of good
value of
basketball
Jimmer Fredette?
So you're Peeze. Just to clarify, how much did you?
40
think
billion.
He's not making 40 billion. That's, he's making what? Something like $15 million?
As a matter of fact, it's 1.3 million.
Oh, okay.
And he said he would take
Tax
he would
free,
do the
though.
I was
veterans.
wrong.
He said the same thing Kaepernick did. He would take the veterans minimum. Why wouldn't a team sign him? I think. I'm just saying. I think he's
Racism.
Like, yeah.
I don't think that's
Yeah.
the case.
Yeah,
There's only 12 guys on the roster in the NBA.
Yes, I do think. Why would they sign a 35-year-old guy that hasn't played in the NBA in fucking 10 years? Why not?
All right. Baseball. Are they going to be known as the Tampa Expos or Les Rayons de Montréal?
I think there will not be a team in Montreal, unfortunately.
Okay, so hold
never
on.
coming back.
Let's
It makes
go-
me very sad. I was a huge
breaks my
Expos
heart.
fan.
Woo!
So
Oh
let's
my
just
God.
explain to those who don't know. So Tampa, the Rays, the owner came out saying we're not going to build a stadium in the Tampa region.
Why would they? They can't even fill up a fucking
However, they're locked until 2027 with their stadium lease. So the question begs, from what the potential ownership group of Montreal have said, that it's looking better than what it was, say, 8 months ago.
Yeah.
And they believe they are getting a baseball franchise one way or another. And why do you believe there will be no baseball in Montreal?
It's just so like if they're thinking they had trouble getting a stadium in Tampa, they're not getting a stadium built in Montreal. We saw that happen. We've been through this. Jeffrey Loria.
Where is it going to be anyway?
Well, the thing is, Jeffrey Loria got that stadium built in Miami and bankrupted the city. The way he tried to do it in
They need to
Montreal.
bring in more yayo to bring back the economy up there.
No, there's not enough money in Canada to support 2 teams.
And it's unfortunate because I love
Yeah,
the
me too.
Expos.
I love
I
the
went to a
Expos.
ton of games. If they come back, I would be a season ticket holder
Man,
for them.
I used to remember throwing Henry bars to Henry Rodriguez.
Yeah, that season was so fun.
Yeah. I remember we used to always get seats close to for some reason we always line up against the Phillies, and I used to chirp Bobby Bray, was so bad from right field, man. Hey, Bobby, your shoes are untied. I was like 10. I loved it, man. It was fucking
Man,
nice.
that makes me feel old because I was not 10.
Bobby Breu.
But I must have been like 16 or 17. But I
When Terry's 10?
yeah, about
How old are you now?
36.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, so carry on.
I'm
As you're saying.
24.
So I remember the first time I saw David Segui, I realized now
big guy.
when that happened, the guy was just drinking steroids. There's not a human who's built that way.
No, he was a fucking monster.
Put
An
up
actual
good numbers
monster.
for the Expos.
He was good, but he couldn't stay healthy, and I guess he was taking the wrong steroids. But he was so tight everywhere. He was always pulling a hamstring. His shoulder was always blown out.
Because all of the muscles looked like they were running away from him.
Yeah. He was a monster. But everybody was back then.
Jose Vidro was
Yeah,
jacked.
if you got close enough to the field to really see how big these guys were, their jerseys were tight on them, man.
Yeah.
It was crazy, all the amount of sauce that was going on.
They
back then.
looked like the real life version of Ken Griffey Jr. baseball.
So back to Mo's question, is that I don't think we're gonna get a team. Like I said, Canada can't support 2 teams. Montreal can't support a second major team.
Montreal in the summer, you need to be good all the time.
All the time.
Because there's too much shit to do.
There's way too many festivals.
It's like LA.
Too many. There's also exactly. But like, are they gonna do what they did before, where they do some games in Puerto Rico?
No. But here's the thing, though, guys. We're missing the key point here. It's an old man sport.
Yeah, I guess. Money.
It's a timeless sport,
This guy
right?
right here.
This guy right here. It doesn't cater to the millennials, right? And
Technically, I think I'm also a millennial. Like, I'm
Montreal-
right at the
that's
cusp.
true. Montreal's like
and
Montreal's a young.
it's a very young, and baseball, whether it's Montreal or not, it has not been able to adapt to
If they're
today's.
If
But
they're
it-
good, if they're winning, if
but-
they're hip, if they're trendy.
But it's a
no.
slow-moving sport, though, right? Like it's a regional sport, baseball. It's a
Yeah, it
regional
always has
sport.
been.
It always will
Well,
be.
for the past 30 years, it has been.
Yeah, and now we look at today and how it is, right? It's 2004 when the Expos were last year, so now it's 14 years, going on 15, right? That is literally almost a high school graduation worth of kids
True. So many people don't even
who
know.
don't know what the Expos
And
are
how
all
many
about.
Expos fans jumped and went to other teams like this guy?
I used to work at night and listen to them on the radio.
Oh yeah, that's Elliot Price. You
I-
love
I-
Elliot Price.
Fucking hate Elliot Price. Mo, I know you can't say it, but I hate him. Sean Starr, you
Elliot
go to
Price.
hell.
I met him once. He's a fucking nice guy.
I
man.
hate him.
Whatever.
Trash.
You're wrong, Mo.
Duke, your thoughts?
Peeze.
I don't get why we're so obsessed with them coming back to Montreal. I mean, there's so many other cities in Canada that'll be better suited for a baseball team than Montreal.
Like who?
I have
Windsor.
no idea.
Like Vancouver. Yeah.
Saskatoon.
I heard
Vancouver.
Regina. That was really nice this time of year.
It just-
No, Vancouver would be the only other option because they're over there and there's a lot of people that go to the go to
Mariners,
Vancouver.
yeah.
Exactly.
But here's the thing, though, and I've always brought up this point. There's two
It's a nice
other
place to visit.
sticking points here. Who's going to pay for the stadium in Montreal?
Not
That's-
us. We're already
that's-
taxed as much.
that's
I'm gonna
one.
pull another one of those old ladies there.
Yeah.
For sure. All my money's going to to fucking for all these orange cones all over the fucking city, and then they're gonna pay. They're gonna take 3 years to build a stadium. It's gonna create
4
more
years,
traffic. 4 years
yeah.
it's gonna create more traffic. The only places they thought of is like
Just
the old
outside the
Hippodrome.
downtown, yeah.
No, the old Hippodrome.
Which will never happen because that area will ban that because of parking, right?
Exactly.
They
Yeah,
don't
you
want
wouldn't
that
be able to
happen.
get there. It'd be a fucking shit show as it already is. And then downtown, where would you put it downtown? You would have to
on the
dig
lip
up a hole.
of the downtown, not far
like
from the
close to the
Habs.
hospital.
The Peel Basin is where they want
Okay,
to put
exactly.
it. But that's the thing. Who's
Stop.
paying for the stadium, right? That's one. And then the
Build it
second,
on top of the Bell Center.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it'd be double decker of
Yeah.
teams playing
Hey,
each
fucking
other.
right, man.
That'd be an
And-
insane building.
And I'll bring up
See-through
this last
floor,
point.
So
though.
see through ceiling, so you can see both games.
So Bryce Harper,
Yo, I was at the Canadians game.
I was watching baseball.
I was in the luxury box. I was able to watch the NFL game and the Canadians game. Not a bad idea. 2-in-1 Sports.
There you go.
2-in-1 Sports right here.
So Bryce
Trademark Hot
Harper,
Sauce Sports.
Bryce Harper is going to get $400 million. So that means Bryce Harper's value of his contract is worth half the franchise value of the Expos whenever they come back, if and when they come back.
That's about right.
So for that reason, it's not going to happen. I know where you're going with this. Is that the city won't be able to pay for it? No way.
It's
The Bronfmans aren't putting enough money up. I don't know who else was involved in that bid, but I don't think it's going to happen ever.
It's like the City of Oakland said, F you to the Raiders. We're not going to pay for your football stadium. And now they're going to Vegas, and now they're going to sue the Raiders. It's now becoming more evident that more billionaire owners have to privately pay for, like the Rams have.
It shouldn't be tax money. It's a service you're providing.
It's a billionaire
And like
business.
we're already paying for it when we go see the game.
That's it.
You know,
Exactly.
it's like if I'm paying for a stadium and paying for season tickets, what
I'd
the hell
rather-
with you?
Fix the potholes, man. I'd rather do that.
So since you guys are talking normally, have you been drug tested recently?
Like for weed.
Well,
I
Eric
hope not.
Reed has been drug tested 7 times.
I
in the
haven't,
last-
but I shouldn't be.
I hope.
So here's
Does
here-
Hot Sauce do drug
Actually,
testing?
I shouldn't be right now.
all right. So here's the thing: is that a conspiracy theory that Eric Reed has been drug tested so many times?
Fuck it. That doesn't make any sense to me.
But
Doesn't
and
make
he's
any
also
sense.
not failed any of these drug tests. Is the other thing.
So it's like
The only guy who should have been drug tested that often is Pat McAfee. And no one else in the history of the NFL.
Why are you gonna?
Have
Why are
you
you
seen
gonna
Laurent
test a
Landry
punter?
who got caught? I
Because
think
he loved slamming coke.
Sorry.
Laurent Landry was
He was a
pretty-
monster.
yeah,
man.
he
Talk
was-
about a freaking big guy on sauce.
Yeah,
Laurent Landry.
he was pretty big though. So yeah, here we go. So
yeah, a
Eric
little bit of
Reed
a
was
conspiracy
very
theory.
upset by the NFL's random drug testing
But like
policy.
they handle their problems like grade school children. It seems like it's a bunch of billionaires acting like grade school children. It's like, oh yeah, well you pissed us off. Now we're gonna make your life mildly inconvenient.
By having a guy come to your house and you piss in the bottle.
Put snow in your school bag.
So what happens with that? Like, do you think it's wrong of the NFL to do so many random tests with one player?
I
think you could contest on the grounds of the word random.
So it's I like what he said. Also, he said I'm not a mathematician or anything,
Yeah.
but seven tests in 11 weeks isn't fucking random, you know. And he's right. It doesn't fucking make sense. Or at least if the people that are doing the testing, so be like, why are we testing this guy so much? Let's just not go there. I'm sure it's random.
Yeah.
But you can say, no, I've already tested Eric Reed 4 times. Why would I have to test him again? I'll test this
Well,
other
unless
jabroni.
it's league mandated, you need to test this guy every 2 weeks.
That's what I'm saying. That's where it comes from.
So what happens in the outcome with Eric Reed?
Well, I mean, what's going to happen? He's going to play next year.
It's funny when he signed with the Panthers, they've really gone downhill, huh?
You think it's because of him, though?
No,
Well,
I'm
you
just
know,
saying.
he's problematic. Oh, he's bringing all those problems to the locker room.
Bringing
now.
the
He's a
problem guy that
distraction.
he is,
You know,
distraction.
and
I
that's
like-
why. That's why they lost 6 games because
Yeah.
he's a distraction.
No, but he's
Distraction.
good. But he's actually a starter in the NFL, where Kaepernick is not.
A starter, correct?
Yes, a starter.
But-
well, we'll find out next. What
We'll see.
happens.
You know, he's probably going to get.
Who
some
is starting
Kaepernick.
for the Redskins now? Is it? I think I gotta start warming
I don't
up.
even know who it is.
Josh Johnson.
Josh Johnson.
And they
Yeah.
won this week.
First time in 8 years he won a football game or threw a football pass in a regular season game. Okay.
I look stupid every single time
Yes,
one of
you
these
do.
shit stats.
86 quarterbacks have been signed since Colin Kaepernick last played in the NFL.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck.
All right. Are we going to break here, Eagle?
I'm better than you.
No break.
We'll continue on here.
Fucking roll,
All right.
man.
Year in review. We're at the last turn of the season.
Do you have any imaging for this? Any music? Any
Yes.
sound? Any
And you cocks-
something to bring in the new year? Some
Put a
party
bu-
music?
Just put a bunch of dicks on the screen.
All right.
That's fine. Do that.
2018 was the year is now ending here. So what was the best story for you from sports in 2018?
I like the Red Sox story actually. I mean, the Red Sox story to me is they didn't make it last year. They signed JD Martinez this year. They have Price, the whole thing with Price where he couldn't close out games, couldn't win games. I love that story. I love that storyline. It's a great one.
That's a really good storyline. Couldn't close out games. Yeah.
Not just him. I'm saying over. I'm talking about the team itself. I loved and the way the city rallied behind them. Like the whole thing. I don't know. I felt like even though I'm not a Red Sox fan, I felt emotional watching them win the World Series. So when they beat the Yankees, and then they walked by. They had in the locker room. They were playing New York,
Frank
like the whole thing.
Sinatra's.
Maybe not the biggest, but that's the one that comes to mind.
There's nothing I like less than Philadelphia Eagles fans as fan base.
Oh yeah, that's a good story.
But the way that Nick Foles came in, had this improbable Super Bowl run. Probably doesn't happen if Julio Jones just stays standing and doesn't fall down by himself in the end zone. But Nick Foles leads his team to the Super Bowl. Sees a drop pass by Tom Brady, then catches a pass himself on honestly, it was just one of the more exciting Super Bowls I've ever seen in my lifetime. And to see it end almost felt as though the dying of a dynasty. Chris Long closing in on Tom Brady and sacking him to end the game. Forced fumble sack to end the game.
Forced fumble sack.
Duke, any highlights for you? 2018.
The Serena Williams meltdown was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was
That
great.
was by far my favorite.
Great.
I got the one that
You know,
was
you know what's sorry, Mo, you know what's good about that is that she was wrong, because she's like, I wasn't being coached, and then her coach is like, yeah, I was coaching.
Tune in for the week that we're off. Me and Terry will argue relentlessly
Yeah,
about that.
for
Oh,
45
fucking
minutes. So the best storyline was, I'll give you the scenario, painted to you 2nd and 21, and the game-winning touchdown to win the college football championship. And on that note, we ended on that.
So I have a story about that night. I was watching the game with my fiance who grew up in Alpharetta, Georgia, closer to Georgia Tech, but grew up a Bulldogs fan. And as we're game's gone to overtime. It's tied after the first round of overtime, and we're leaving the bar. And I'm like, okay, we got to rush to the car so we can listen to the game on the radio.
Yeah.
And we get into the car just to hear the celebration. And it was the most depressing 20-minute drive back home. It was just silence.
Are you a Georgia fan because by default? Because of
Actually, when I first met her, I was already
you already
a Georgia
Georgia.
fan.
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech. Yeah.
Never Georgia Tech.
I never attached myself to a college team. I used to like Notre Dame, Michigan.
I kinda had an
Shocker.
affinity-
A real girthy Big Ten Midwest teams over there. Notre Dame,
I used to have an
Michigan.
affinity
Oregon.
per conference. I used to have an affinity per conference, and then ran out of time to watch
It's
as many
too
games,
much.
so
It's too much.
stuck with the Bulldogs. Tiger Woods.
Great
back, too, for a
choice.
Tiger Woods is a pretty good story.
Tiger Woods-
Tiger
He-
Woods, Ryan
so
Shazier
here's-
be able to walk again is a good story.
That's a great
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
Hopefully that happens. So here's a question for you guys for 2019. Does Tiger Woods win a major? And if he does, which one?
Man, he's getting old. Like, it has to happen now. Like, his greatest advantage was his power, and he's starting to lose his power. And so, if he does, it's got to be Augusta, right? Like, that's
my favorite.
his
course.
quote unquote,
That's
like
his
home
child.
course. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Natalia, my fiance, once said she wanted to buy me tickets for Augusta, and I laughed. And she said, "What do you mean?" I handed her stuff like a SeatGeek,
Yeah.
not sponsored, by the way. They should totally sponsor us. And she saw the price. She's like, "Well, we can just watch it on TV."
On HD. That's what we're gonna watch it on.
$13,000 for the weekend.
Let's okay. Look, Duke. I know. Duke, can you look it up for us? What is the going rate right now for a ticket for Augusta?
You got it, boss.
Thank you very much.
I can do that. He's
I can't
starting
ask
the next
Eagle.
segment.
I can't ask Eagle that question because Eagle's busy with Pokemon.
He's starting the next segment.
Okay,
I'll do
so-
it.
Start the next segment. Peace is gonna look up that question.
So, gentlemen, I ask you this right now: for the 4 major sports in North America, who's going to win what? So, Super Bowl will be who in
This
February? 2019, yes.
So a full season, then the Super Bowl.
No,
or the Super Bowl
2019
coming up in February.
Coming up
Okay.
in February.
Who's gonna win? I'm gonna go with the Chargers.
All right, Peasy.
I like the Chargers, but honestly, I think the Rams figured it out. And
All they need is like a 2-game winning streak at the end of the season just to
Yeah.
kind of get back into.
yeah,
the,
and the thing is, all the pieces are there: defense, running, quarterback, all of it.
just Marcus
Duke, who you
Peters
got
can't be
winning?
threatening people.
Who I
on the
got?
side.
Yeah.
The Chicago Bears, bro.
All right. I got
Bears,
The, I
they're
got
gonna-
the Saints.
They'll win a game in the playoffs, then they'll lose.
True Bisky.
I'm a huge fan.
All right. NHL. Who wins the Stanley Cup?
That's a tough one. I'm gonna go. Fuck, man.
I'll go
I'm
Tampa
gonna,
Lightning.
This is
I'm
just
gonna
for
go.
Sunday.
I'm gonna go Boston.
That's all right.
Just for Sunday, $2,300 for the Masters.
I'm
on
gonna go
Sunday.
Boston. 1890. Eagles beat. Okay, I got 1890 going
I
left.
got Tampa.
Wait, you sure it's Sunday?
Who,
That's
you-
not
who,
bad.
who you got winning Stanley
Stanley
Cup?
I got Boston.
I got Tampa.
Tampa's a nice pick.
Tampa's not bad. I'm gonna go with Terry and say Boston. I hate
All right,
the
Duke.
Bruins,
Yeah,
but
I don't hate the Bruins.
there's something there.
The Toronto
Okay, he's on crack. Get the fuck
motherfucking
out.
All right,
Maple
tell us,
Leafs.
Mike.
Get the fuck out of here.
All right. NBA.
You're drunk.
NBA. Who wins the NBA title?
The worst kept secret
The Golden State Warriors.
is the Golden State
All right,
Warriors.
Clean sweep. All right.
There's-
Perfect.
If 3 of their star players are there, they're an overwhelming.
Yeah, it's
they're just
crazy.
not even an overwhelming favorite. They're just unbeatable. Period.
All right. So we all have the Warriors.
No, I don't.
No.
You're wrong then.
Who you got?
I'm gonna say
Indiana Pacers. Okay.
No,
Great.
I'm gonna say
Raptors?
I'm gonna say Celtics.
All right. Celtics go nowhere. Who you got, Duke?
Scary Terry gonna miss another
Just to be
13 3-pointers in a row.
Love Terry Rozier.
I got the Houston Rockets, man.
All right, you're going
You're
nowhere.
fucking cracked, man. You're worse.
All right,
than me.
baseball. I got the Houston Astros.
Yeah, that's a nice pick. I'm gonna go. If the Yankees sign Machado, which I think is gonna happen, I think the Yankees are gonna take it. It fucking pains me to say it.
It's crazy because I keep siding with Terry on this, but I was literally gonna say Machado to the Yankees. Yankees win it, and I also hate
If not, it's gonna be the Red Sox to
the Red Sox are probably the best Red Sox. They're the best baseball team I've ever seen.
Yeah, exactly.
But
But Mo's fucking good at these shitty picks, and I like the Houston Nationals pick. It's actually nice.
Thank you. Who you got, Duke?
I have.
You gotta hurry up. We're almost at the end of the show here.
That's
Houston
okay. We can go
Astros.
as long as we want.
Houston Astros.
We're not on air.
All right.
Houston Nationals. All
Watch
right.
out for the Colorado Rockies. All right, it is
it?
now time for the what?
That's it.
That's it, man.
There's no other leagues.
That's it, man.
What about like the soccer league in Malaysia?
Oh yeah, we'll talk about Jakarta United over there against Indonesia AAC over there. All right, it is now time for the last segment, the ever popular segment that PG likes to go with, and Duke likes to go with, and Terry likes to go with, and we all like to go with. What are we doing today?
Listed all the people over.
I know. What's this week's segment here, Duke?
This is Sauce Against Humanity.
Oh, Sauce
hey-o.
Against Humanity. Okay, then. So Sauce Against Humanity essentially is where Duke explains the scenario,
Yeah,
and we fill in the
it's
blank.
Cards Against Humanity. Anyone that's ever played, I list the topic with
We fill in the blanks.
with a blank, and then you guys will have to each individually fill it in.
Yes.
So, question number 1: the NHL Rules Committee should be meeting to discuss blank.
It's not really a question. NHL to provide dentures to players who lose their teeth.
Removing a player from the ice at all times. 4-on-4 hockey. Let's do it.
Removing the goalies and playing empty net hockey.
Hey, you flip the
Garbage
sideways.
can.
Yeah. Exactly. Here we go.
All terrible ideas. Number 2:
Mine was amazing.
baseball umpires despise when the batter blank the home plate.
Shits on the home plate.
Has sexual relations with the home plate.
How can you though? There's no hole.
What? Hey,
Adjust their
swap
jock.
it around.
Adjust their jocks.
Adjust their jocks.
That's kind of the same thing. I
Adjust
said.
their jocks on the home plate, but you're not
Yeah.
necessarily
you,
doing
you,
it.
you use it like you rub up against it.
Oh,
to
just
get in the
you
right
kind of
spot.
do one of these.
You know, like you bear scratch,
yeah, I
but
get
with
you.
your dick.
Next.
I'm gonna try it.
Question number 3 and the last one. If players could place a bet on themselves, blank would make a fortune.
I'll tell you who wouldn't. Carmelo Anthony.
That's exactly what I was gonna say, man.
Place a bet on themselves. I think Aaron Rodgers. He's one of those guys who would fucking put a bet on himself and just and take it home.
I think Phil Mickelson would absolutely win every bet that he would place against himself.
And it would also be the most boring bet.
Oh my God.
I'll
bet
go
you
with
100.
the surefire. OG Anunoby from the Toronto Raptors on his free throw shooting. Can't hit a free throw. 20% shooter.
No way.
Yep.
He's 20% at the line.
25%, I think it is.
My friend went to the Raptors Golden State game and he got a signed jersey from Anunoby and now I'm gonna tell him to just get rid of it.
Last one. Last one.
Bonus question number 1. Advanced sports statistics has been able to predict blank consistently.
Blank sports statistics. Okay. Advanced sports statistics. Read it
Brain
again.
size.
Terry, would you like me to repeat
Yes,
the
I
question?
would love for you to repeat that for
Brain
me, please. Thank
size.
you.
Advanced sports statistics have been able to predict blank consistently.
I'll go brain size.
Brain size.
Team complaints about hotel room service.
The size of your cock without having seen it.
I need that.
Yeah.
I gotta know.
We
I
go
got
one
to
more?
know.
Last
I got
one.
to know.
Last one. One more.
The last one, I promise. Blank is underperforming because blank.
Rihanna's underperforming because the music scene's changed. Straight up.
David Segui is underperforming because of all the steroids he's taken. David Segui, what did he do to us? Nothing. We just brought him back.
Kevin
I know.
Durant.
We
is
brought it back to life.
Kevin Durant's underperforming because of DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, that's too accurate, man. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
I looked up David Ski's numbers before, and he didn't look like he was on roids. It's
No,
most
139
but,
Three
look
nine.
at, look at his
No,
body.
Yeah, he was on roid just because he had no athletic ability.
Yeah.
It didn't mean that.
So David Ski looked like Eagle, and then drank a bunch of roids, and then was shaped like this garage door.
6'5".
I'm sorry, I'm confused. Do you want me to look up David Ski on my computer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like naked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously.
can.
I thought that was clear.
And then we'll put it on screen.
All right. On
Get your
that note,
blonde ass hairy body and look up David Ski's
on
naked
that
body.
note,
His hairless, beautiful naked body.
we will wish
nipples
you
are so
guys
brown and beautiful.
a happy holidays. as you all look up Dave Seguin.
What are they doing while you wish him a happy
I'm gonna
holidays?
Google it now.
While you look up Dave Seguin, hope you enjoy listening to this podcast, wherever you are.
He's jacked, bro.
Eagle, Duke, Terry, PC, and I wish you happy holidays, all the best for the new year, and we'll see you in
Played
2019.
on a lot of teams.
Look at that neck. Look at that neck. Look at that neck. You've been listening to Hot Sauce Sports.